Hello the channel. Welcome back everyone. Look at this. A baldy heat right in the middle of your screen. Absolutely fantastic stuff. I don't know if that's fantastic or not, but there we go. So another lineup builder. Quick mention at the end of this video, I'm going to put a link up to the giveaway which we're running. So that's going to be running until Wednesday night. And basically first place gets to enter first pick in this competition, Premier League Winter Special. It's $1,000 for first, so places paid all the way down, $1,000 for first, and also the winner gets a mystery jersey from the EPL and a Sorare cap, which I'll not require because I've always been a baldy bastard, so people can see it, so it doesn't matter. Anyway, second place gets two entries into the EPL winter competition as well, but obviously not first pick. So there we go. That competition is actually open for selection just now. Move me back to my rightful place at the bottom of the screen here. It's open just now for entry, but we won't be doing any building for that because that is the game week that starts on Friday. So game week 435, and we're going to be going at game week 434 at the moment. So without further ado, we'll need to get on to Big Egal's fantastic spreadsheet. So been using this a lot. I must say, pretty delighted with the recent results. No podium this weekend, but in the last 4 game weeks we've had 4 podiums in a row. Pretty good card advantage, nice gallery and all that as well. So there's no doubt about it that stuff definitely does help. But what I'm finding is that this sort of process is giving me really good sort of clarity of thought. So it's good information to have. He does a free trial of this. Just as a disclaimer, it's absolutely nothing to do with me. I don't get any money from Miguel. He's just been letting me use this spreadsheet, and as a result, I'm putting it up in the channel. So if you message him, he'll give you a free trial. If you think it's shit, you don't need to use it. If you think it's good, you can discuss with him. You can sign up. If you sign up for a few months in advance, he charges you slightly less. So I think that's pretty good. If you're playing Sorare seriously, then it's definitely worth considering. So on to the midweek. It's actually quite a lot of fixtures on, which is pretty good. Turkey had their hiatus at the weekend with that incredible situation where everybody was getting absolutely kicked into the referee. So disgraceful, but there we go. They've had their break at the weekend. I don't know what the outcome of that was, but anyways, the Turkish teams are back midweek as well. We see here Fenerbahce got a game. In terms of standout fixtures, so Barcelona against Almeria. I can understand that. Almeria have been pretty leaky. Luis Maximiano incredibly kept a clean sheet in the last game, so maybe they're back on the up. You never know, but clean sheet percentage 51%, expected team goals 3, and win percentage of 86%. So that looks like quite a good stackable fixture if you've got some Barcelona cards. Don't really have too many of them myself, but I do have a João Cancelo limited, which has been really handy. Paris Saint-Germain again, Metz, pretty good stats there as well. They do rotate a wee bit. I think I'm pretty sure Donnarumma might be back for that game as well. Tennis has done all right. It's interesting. One that's going to be particularly relevant to me is Leverkusen. Absolutely love Leverkusen this season. Just what a team there. Honestly, I really hope they go on and they win the league. I think they're probably the best fullback pair in the whole of world football. Like, somebody shows me a left back and a right back that are better than Grimaldo and Frimpong, then I'll be seriously impressed. I love Verts. They've got lots of good young players as well. Got Tapsaf at the back, big Tapsaf Oba. Palacios still, he's maybe not so young now, 24, but he's a lot of injury problems, always been highlighted. Jonas Hoffman's a guy I really liked at Borussia. Was it Borussia Mönchengladbach? I could be talking rubbish now. I think it was. Anyway, he's moved now to Leverkusen, doing very well. Boniface has been brought, Xabi Alonso's done an amazing job there, so I hope they follow it through. Doing very well in Europe as well. Managed to rotate, still win games, just an incredible job. We'll not mention the assholes in the fourth fixture. Anyways, not minted in terms of a licensed team, but we'll have a few cards, including that absolute asshole Todd Cantwell. Bayern München in Bayern in Germany, as the big man would say. What do you call him? Can't even remember his name now. Gosh, my mind's went blank. So I just record this stuff, right? I don't edit it or anything. What do you call it? Alan McInally in Bayern in München in Germany. Pretty good team. I do have a Kane limited. Probably should pick up a Sani actually. I watched the game against Stuttgart and thought Bayern were excellent actually. They were pretty average against Man United, but just get the job done, but they won the group. Galatasaray, so that's a good one to keep an eye on 2.5 expected team goals. So anything above 2 is pretty good, to be honest, in terms of expected team goals. Clean sheet percentage, I think you're looking for maybe 50% and above is a right good fixture, but it's interesting to see all the teams up here. Fenerbahce against Kayserispor. So Fenerbahce have all the Turkish teams have had a weekend off, so that's interesting because for the European games, but they do play on. So it's quite good to pick up some of these guys who don't take breaks. At the moment, you've got, I think there's going to be a Dutch Cup, and then there's no any Dutch fixtures until like 12th of January or something. So with 3 or 4 weeks off. So don't crap your pants too much if you get guys like for Feyenoord or Joey Veerman or whatever, and they drop a wee bit. It's just 3 or 4 weeks and no utilities. Quite a big break, obviously. So there'll be a lot of focus just now on Scotland, Turkey, EPL, any of these teams that have got fixtures over Christmas will be in demand. Leipzig against Werder Bremen. Leipzig, quite exciting team, do rotate a wee bit. Dortmund are a funny team. Not really been doing that well this season, but big Nico Schlotterbeck seems to be just hammering it as per usual. A couple of other good fixtures there as well. I think Real Madrid pretty interesting at the moment. Bellingham's just ridiculous, isn't he? He's just incredible. So there we go. So this is the section where we see the projected higher scores across the board here. Interestingly, I think this isn't set. I don't know, is this set to my players? Yes, it is. I'm going to take it off my players just so that people can see if there's anything that sort of jumps out at them in terms of players maybe they've got themselves. So if taking that off, that should hopefully update in a wee minute. Here's one I made earlier. They do that in the cookery programs, don't they? Why is it not updating? This is a shite database, gal, for God's sake. Now we need to switch it on and switch it back off again. It's not working. We'll switch it on, off, and then back on again, right? That usually works, right? It's an IT thing, so I was expecting a Volvo to appear here or some other absolute pile of crap. Player database. Yeah, it worked. Oh, I'm an IT genius. Yes, fucking 1,000 subs and I can do IT. Get it around, geez. So Loic Baddy, interesting one. He's not been starting much recently. Muscle injury. I don't know when he's back, but quite a high projected score. Probably skewed a wee bit by the sort of last 5 score, etc. So you got to be careful with guys who are out. These are just projections, right? You don't take them as gospel. Jude Bellingham, absolutely no surprise whatsoever. Him been up there. So this bit, I find this quite interesting. The difference, right? So this is good for the Caps. So his last 15 and last 5 is 84. So difference in -3 means the difference between his last 15 and his projected score. So not really a good Cap player, but just like an unbelievable player to have in general. Batista Mendy, that's quite an interesting one. I think he plays for Trabzonspor, doesn't he? He moved there anyway. Mert Roll, I don't really know. Farts, amazing player. Folarin Balogun, so he got cuts now. So interesting. Kevin Denke, very good player. Lee Kangen, probably a bit undervalued these days. Doing pretty well for PSG. Ferdi Kadioglu, insane player. He's gone down the midfielder there. He does have a majority of midfielder cards, but he's got a defender card as well, which is great. Angelo Stiller, interesting. Enzo Lafia, a guy who I thought would do pretty well at Rennes, which kind of shows the importance of things like the set pieces, etc. Schuameni, quite an interesting one, just back from injury. Leighton Clarkson, actually a guy I might end up using midweek just in terms of midfielders, etc. Vitinha's done pretty well at PSG, again, pretty cheap these days. Nico Williams, player I really like. So these are all quite high projected scores, etc. Anyways, I'm going to go on to my players now, have a wee sifty about, and we're going to pick some teams. So firstly, we need to decide what teams we actually want to pick first. I have to say, under 23s is like my favourite competition. Like I just love it. So if you do end up using the database, you can do some really clever stuff here. So you can filter to under 23s, and then you can even filter out your scarcity as well once it's done its work in the background. So we're going to be looking for the best under 23 limited performers here. Majuki doesn't really play. He's a backup. Back for Bruggen, pretty interesting. The only problem is, the Brighton manager is just a complete and utter maniac. So, Jason Steele could play at any time. It's probably killing his price a bit as well. Simon, Big Simon, I call him. Toby Lyson, doing really well. So in the running, but just getting away is pretty hard to fixture, isn't it? I think I've got to go with Ivan Diouf here. Firstly, he plays every game. Le Havre, not the best team, and yeah, not really much choice there either. Nico Schlotterbeck stand out here. Hugo Saiki, right, I must admit, he came up on the database for this game week and I used him and he put in a really high AA, so that's caught my attention as well. So I'm going to make sure I keep paying attention to this. So Schlotterbeck is the standout option there. Midfield wise, so this is an interesting one. I don't really own many players here who are actually that good for midweek and guaranteed to play. Leighton Clarkson's not on here, but that's because I've been lazy and I've not updated my players. But actually, I bought them, so I need to update that. That's my fault. That's not a gal's fault. So Leighton Clarkson, right? The interesting thing here is he just played in the final against Rangers, so will Aberdeen rotate? Barron could well come in, so I'll be doing some checking around with play sharper guys and stuff there and see what the consensus is, but that might be a game for Barron. Forward wise, Florian Wirtz, 72. Wirtz does get rotated a wee bit, but I mean, he did come off before the end, so I would be hoping that he'll start again. In fact, I think he's pretty good captain material. And then Rodrigo certainly is a really good selection. Estimated score 60. Hugo CK 65 actually. So that's interesting. I might just leave Rodrigo for like Champ or something. Just use Hugo CK. It's a good form the last game for sure. So there we go. Leighton Clarkson's won a competition to play in with all the SO5 scores. Leighton Clarkson's a good player, by the way. So I see him bought from Liverpool and he's done pretty well in general. Aberdeen have not been so great recently, but Livingston at home is pretty much as good a fixture as you're going to get, to be honest. Challenger, so there's no Celtics, so that's going to be a hard one for me to pick. Why don't we do a cap 240? You win some cash in there. Interestingly, in fact, we're not going to pick that because there's no... let's go for the reward box. Yeah, they're running this. Yeah, 434. So we're running the reward box. So let's have a go at that because the card wins are in the reward box, right? So we need to filter out back to All-Star and we'll pick a good team for this. Now, the other thing I would point out as well, just before we go through this, so I'm going to come back out. Again, I'm plugging the spreadsheet here, but I'm impressed. I must admit, I'm pretty impressed. Not by the reward box, but this was a lineup we picked on it, and this one came 23rd. So $70 and an amazing ROI for this team. Cole Palmer, obviously, I bought before he moved to Chelsea, but Jordan Pickford come up. Not the most surprising selections. That was his fourth clean sheet in a row, and Burnley have been pretty average. But Porro, Kulusevski, and Cunha, although he didn't actually deliver a decisive, it did turn out a good fixture for him. Hit 51 without a goal or an assist is pretty reasonable. So a goal and assist would taken is right up there, like right in amongst probably the podium places. But $70 is really good for a limited team. So I really like those cash competitions. But again, it's pretty useful to look at the spreadsheet and see who's available and what the sort of deltas and stuff are in terms of projected score and last 15s and stuff here. So Lunin projected score 56, last 15 is 65, not very good. Rajkovic, a bit of a +1. Diouf have only got 1. Toby Lyson's kind of a bit negative there, so I think probably have to be Rajkovic, right? Home to Osasuna, pretty interesting. Cap cost of 50 as well, so that leaves an average of 55, so that's pretty interesting because you've got to get under the 270 here. João Cancelo, last 15 is 64 and project score 68, pretty high. CK, Johan Barbie, he's a machine, that guy, he's really good, him. Done pretty well having him, to be honest. Juranovic, now there's an interesting one. Last 15 of 36, project score 52. Has been playing recently. They've not been great. The only problem is they do kind of rotate fullback positions, so I'd have to be confident he's going to start. But quite an interesting selection. Nyanza, I think, is probably injured. Lifus. Yeah, it's kind of interesting one. He played pretty well at the weekend, actually, so kind of interesting selection there. Sangari. Noah Mbamba doesn't really play so much. So yeah, I'd probably go with Juranovic, actually. Was at least João Cancelo for the champion selection, so kind of interesting. Pretty good XP on that as well, so there we go. So we've got our overall cap cost now 61 left, so that lets us pick some big hitters in here. So last 15 for Gundogan is 64, project score 74, so that's pretty tempting, right? Gavi's injured. Ennis Bardi's rotated a wee bit. Connor Barnes pretty interesting. He used to play, he's pretty good cap player because average of 39 and project score 55. That's really nice, that, to be honest. Although I don't really want to play him if I'm playing Clarkson the other one, because it's going to be one or the other, I would imagine. Although I'm not an Aberdeen expert. So Gundogan, I think, fits in there well. Still leaves us with an average of 60, and that's come up as one of the plum fixtures, so that's pretty interesting. Vinicius Junior injured. Heard he's back after the break, actually. So Rodrigo, last 15 62, projected score 60. Inigo Vicente as well, 68. Guiri didn't play the last game, so it's kind of interesting. Tete is he's really hit and miss, but it's pretty high projected score, although he's been absolutely garbage. Really has been garbage, Tete. But I suppose it would let us pick another kind of baller type in here. I suppose more likely he's going to play at home as well, right? So yeah, it just leaves us with a completely free pick for the last selection, and the highest on the list that we're not using elsewhere is Kane or Inigo Vicente. Kane's away, I don't think it really matters so much, but go Inigo Vicente. Pretty good captain option. Last 15 average 68. So using Tete and Juranovic means you can get Gundogan and Inigo in, which is quite interesting. So still got 17 left, actually. So, it's kind of interesting. Could get somebody a bit higher in, so 17, 53. Starfelt was out last game. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's not a huge amount choice over this sort of spell. We're coming up to Christmas. Not all the leagues are running here, so that's kind of interesting. Do we go Champ or do we go All Star Limited? I don't know if actually what we've got left in terms of goalies here. Lunan did play the last game, so that was interesting. Toby Lies and Rono. So we'll probably keep him for the Caps. So Lunan, Jao Cancelo, so pretty good fixture. Agara Kexi, pretty high average actually, but he's not. I think he missed the last game. Wika Faro, pretty good. To see what has a Tisbut scorers. So a more difficult game for. Is that Bastia? Yeah, they've got some actual reasonable players in midfield, I think, as well. Connor Barron. Yeah, Agara Kexi is only projected 54. Problem here is we're just kind of running out of good players, right? It's like even me, like Royce, just don't have much choice midweek. Yeah, we'll just go with Agar. I think Big Agar the Shagger, Harry Kane, and then we'll go with Barbie as well. I think Cancelo is probably the best fixture. I suppose I could probably move him into 270 in with Gundogan because I've got Barbie there and extra selections, but pretty good. And yeah, I mean, I don't know, are they going to keep rotating at Real Madrid? That's the question. I suppose that's up in the air, but the only good thing is you usually get a bit of chat coming out beforehand. Pick a 240 and then we'll go into a rare lineup and then that'll do us. So in terms of cap cost wise, there just isn't really much choice here. Can Miano put up a stormer or do we go with Rono at home? I think, in all honesty, Rono at home, I mean, project score 43 but average of 30, so it's not really get much in terms of expectations there to hit, to be perfectly honest. And then Kieran Tierney doing pretty well recently actually. That's kind of interesting. Just severely short of options this midweek. Just not much on EPL games mostly at the weekend and stuff. So go on feel now. Kieran Tierney. Big use of Yazidze has been doing pretty well recently, so that's interesting. The Yasman. Matoma. Which has pretty good cap cost, right? He's been up and down, but he's capable of doing the damage. Taki Kubo 55 average is pretty attractive, and then affordable only. Who we got left? I'd probably go with Cafaro actually. So Sociedad, I mean, they'll probably rotate now that I've said this, but yeah, there's not a humongous amount of choice. So there we go. Right, we'll pick up a rare lineup as well, and then that'll probably do us. So my personal favourite, the under 23 Rare Plus. Again, under 23. We've got a Rare Pro option here as well, which is good. So filtering out all the rare cards and all of the super rares. I'm going to do a complete and utter sacrilege here. Sorry, Agal. Sorry. I'm going to check and see what the actual suggestion is in Sorare data. Use all the tools that are available, right? Use all the tools. Under 23 Rare Plus is, Tournament of Fidelity success in recently. Yeah, that's interesting. So I thought I might use the Youth Super Rare there as well, which is quite interesting. So we'll see how that stacks up. So yeah, I mean, Super Rare wise, I've got good choice, but some of these guys I'll probably have to use for other divisions as well, if that makes sense. So using the Super might be a good idea here. How does Frimpong stacks up pretty highly here as well. Again, with it being home fixture and against Bochum, I could probably be using him in the stack with Leverkusen. So I think I'm probably going to go with the highest project score being Schlotterbeck. Who have I got left in terms of supers in? Still pretty good choice for a game like this. That's pretty exciting. So Frimpong can go in with the Leverkusen guys. Suppose I have to use Ferdi, but I still have Szymanski and Szymanski, Kavici, and Tadic Strata used there as well, which is quite interesting. So midfield wise, King and Lee pretty high up as well. The only thing is PSG do rotate a wee bit. I think he's kind of solidified a name in the team there. The other point is there's fucking nobody else to select. That's an easy choice. I suppose I could play Ferdy in that position. I say there's nobody else to select, but yeah, you could do that as well. And then, what is the script for forwards? So Taki, 64, that's pretty good, and Rodrigo 60. So I suppose Taki and Rodrigo more likely to start. I suppose Sociedad do rotate a wee bit. So that's kind of interesting. Rodrigo, I mean, Real Madrid have not got a lot of choice at the moment, so, and he's been on great form. Musiala is tempting, but he started the last two games after injury, so just wondering whether he might be a rotation possibility as well. Who has the highest projected score on this? 69 for Kangan. Go with that. Schlotterbeck captain, I think he's got the highest projected score out of everybody, so that should suit him 77. So yeah, that's a pretty nice lineup. I mean, it's actually the one that's suggested by Sorare Data as well with the captain. I actually didn't mean that either, so there we go. Thought process and the Gal spreadsheet and Sorare Data all agree with each other, which is quite interesting. Let's have one more. Let's see if we've got anything for the super rare side of things. We're really doing hee-haw else today anyway, so it's a bit annoying the wife otherwise. So the reason I like using Sorare Data on here as well is to actually suggest a lineup for you. So it's a Gal spreadsheet doesn't do that, but it leads you towards a lineup. So again, super rare wise, think if I use Diouf there, then I'm going to be short here, goalkeepers wise. So yeah, that might be something that needs a rejig. That's something I'll have to have a think about, because I do have some good super rares I could use here, although Rebic isn't the strongest forward option. Sorry, I'm getting out here, look, the hokey-cokey. Yeah, so not really anything strong. So I think I'll probably just use him in the 23s. He's not been doing that well recently. I'm a bit disappointed with the season he's had, but, Will Still's gone from one of these guys everybody's all talking about to I think he might be in the running for some jobs and stuff now as well, which is pretty interesting. So anyway, let's have a look at the All-Star Rare Plus. I always do tend to migrate towards these types of competitions rather than the regions. Just think the prizes are better overall. Like Lewandowski, nice. So you get Szymanski and Tadic in there, so that's pretty interesting. So yeah, we're going to use Diouf, I think, elsewhere. Could also go with Radecki. So that's interesting. Diouf could go into Champ as well, right? So what's the story here in terms of... I can't use Slotterbeck. So Rare Pro. So Big Monfrays, he's been another top player. Estimated 73. Pretty interesting. Bochum are pretty poor, that's the thing. So kind of tempted a wee bit by the defensive stack, and then Monfray I suppose could use elsewhere, although Frimpong I could use in Champ as well, which is interesting. Just love Leverkusen just now. What did the lineup builder suggest? Yeah, Szymanski. So Chris Furyk, that's pretty good fixture as well. Again, he'll probably go into Champ. Szymanski mid. Dusan Tadic up front. They've all had a rest. Can't use Monfray here, but yeah, we'll see if we can find somewhere else for him. This might be something to change around actually then. I might do that because I want to use the Leverkusen guys, I think, in Champion. So this is more a decision in terms of getting another team in. So I could do this, go with Diouf, go with Monfray, and then suggestion is Lewandowski. What's this? So Hoffman's pretty high up there. Icardi as well. Dusan Tadic, Musiala. Who's the card I got? Fatty at home. All the fatties on the shelf. As we used to say in Still Game. Tadic captain. So yeah, I actually quite like that lineup. Don't know how Monfrey's on an average of 52. What is that all about? That's display issue there, I think. So yeah, quite like that. I think that's pretty good. And then we're on a roll here. We'll do one more lineup. Bugger it. We're pretty close in the Champion Rare Pro this weekend, actually. Rare Plus. Can't get around calling Plus. Gets on my nerves at as well. So you call this Super Cap, and then it's like, you call it Super Cap 220, but there's a freaking scarcity called Super Rare, so just call it something else. Anyway, just ranting now. Another one of my rants. As you know, it's not like me, I don't rant at all. So, Frimpong, what I use Jonas Hoffman. Don't have Boniface, etc. So, go between like Musiala and Taki. So, Taki's actually a higher projected score. That's kind of interesting. There's the game, Cadiz, and then Chris Furich came off actually. Where is he? How is that? Projected score 65. That's high enough for me, I think. Could go with Palacios as well. Palacios projected score 68, but that's rare against super rare, right? Furich did come off early against Bayern. I think that was just more based on the game, Bayern were pretty good. Probably just to protect him for the next game as well, Hoffman is El Capitano, and I actually quite like that lineup. I really do. I wish I had more. Well, I suppose I could still play Palacios, or I could play Tapsaf Oba. What's big Tapsaf projected for? 62. So yeah, it's much of muchness there. So, but yeah, I think that's pretty good. Leverkusen have been rotating in Europe as well, so I like that. Jonas Hoffman didn't really have a good game last game, but it's Bochum, right? So a weaker game, so a bit more of a chance. Hang on, put myself back to the middle here. Oh, I'm back in the middle. The big baldy nugget. And that'll do us. 32 minutes we've been going, so that's quite a lot, but should hopefully give people some insight into midweek, some good players to pick. We've got more coming, obviously. We've got the EPL winter competition the weekend, and we've got the giveaway running as well. So I'm going to put the link to the giveaway video up at the top of the somewhere up there. I don't know if it's there or there. People do these things, they point in the right direction. I don't know. It'll be on the screen somewhere, right? I don't care. If you want to watch it, watch it. If you don't, it doesn't matter. It's Christmas. Who gives a shit? But please do follow or subscribe to Jack P. Really good guy. Really good content on his channel. Puts a lot of work into it as well. And as I said earlier, I said in the video, actually pick up some tips here and there from him as well, which is quite useful. Anyway, I'll shut up now. If you're playing midweek, good luck and go fuck.